Good afternoon, champions. Welcome to today's analysis. I'm sorry for the delay. So we are just going to move into the charts directly. So remember, analysis we usually do it on tradingview.com. So you can find the app on Google Chrome and you can sign up for it. So after signing up, just click into the charts. And so if it is your first time using the tradingview.com, you're going to find blank charts, so you're supposed to analyze them so they can look the way mine looks. So I'm going to kickstart today analysis with the pair EURUSD. So on EURUSD, for those who took the trade together with me yesterday, were able to close with a profit. Remember, we took the trade at point B. That is where we took our trade. Let me zoom in so that you can view it. So we are currently viewing the charts on an hourly. So I'm currently viewing it on an hourly time frame. So this is an hourly time frame. I've zoomed in, and as you can see, we had a breakout at this position above this trend line, and it moved to the upside. But as it is moving to the upside, you can see that it is creating these patterns. And yesterday we took a trade at position at point B, and we took a buy position at that point. Our target was the market to reach at that position, which it did by yesterday at around 4, and it went up to touch the trend line above. So I'm currently waiting for a confirmation to take a sell trade, just a short position sell trade to the downside. So my current plan is to capitalize on the market from this position to around that position. Let me call it position C. Remember, if you can view the charts from a daily time frame, you'll see that the market is supposed to move to the upside. Let me remove some of the analyzing tools so that you can view it appropriately. So if you can view it from a daily time frame, you can see that the markets are supposed to reach around this position. So that is from a daily time frame, and then they are going to move to the downside. And if you can zoom out, you see that the general movement of the charts, it is to the downside, and this is after it touched the trend line above at this position. Yeah, at that position. So it is going to move to the downside. Then we are going to have some consolidation at this point. Remember, this may act as a point of support, and the market may go for a retest to this position for them to later on move to the downside. At that position, now from this point, I'm expecting the market to move up. So that's a general view from a daily time frame. But remember, our main aim is mainly to capitalize on the small moves that the market always make. That's why we trade on an hourly time frame. So currently I'm just waiting for a confirmation that the market are going to move to the downside from this position. To that position, then I'm going to get into the trade in a sell. So the other pair that I would like to share with you is the AUD USD. So on the AUD USD, yesterday after analyzing the charts together with you guys, I took a buy trade, just a short position. So I took the trade at around, I had taken the trade earlier on. I was just holding the trade. So I took a trade around this position. Remember, this is an hourly time frame. I took a trade at that position. And remember, when you're placing your stop loss, make sure you place your stop loss at the right position so that you can avoid uh, missing out. So I want you to view where I placed my stop loss. You can see this is a point of support. This region, it is a region of support. So there is no way you can be placing your stop loss at around this position, because the market, as they are making their, as they may have some retracement, and as they are having their retracement, they may move back and they may touch your stop losses. And the moment your stop loss is touched, then you just moved out of the market. And it is going to be very sad that you moved out of the market and you predicted the market in the right way, and then the market moves you out and then it goes according to the prediction that you had analyzed before. So make sure as you're placing your stop losses, please place your stop losses in a position that the market won't take you out. So as you can see, I placed my stop loss below the point of support, below the region of support. So the market had some pullbacks, but they were unable to touch my stop loss, and then the market moved according to my prediction. I had placed my first take profit at around this position, and today at around 11 a.m., I think 11 or 12 a.m., the market had hit my take profit. So let me do that so that you can analyze today's charts and see how the markets are planning on how to move. Remember, as you're doing your analysis, We should do analysis from a higher time frame moving to a lower time frame. So I'm going to start my analysis from the weekly time frame so that you can see the general movement of the charts. So generally this is the chart from the weekly time frame, and as you can see that after the charts, sorry for that, and as you can see after the charts touch the trend line at this position, they moved downward to touch this position, and then they moved up to around this position, and then went down to this position, and then they moved up again to that position, and then they moved down, went for a retest at this position, and then they moved down. So generally we are expecting the market to move up to the trend line above. So that is the weekly view of how the market is moving. Now you move down now to the daily time frame so that you can see how the market are behaving on a daily time frame. So let me remove this. So if you move to the daily time frame, you can see that the markets will always make patterns. So, and as you can see, this is the pattern that is being created. So as you can see, after touching the trend line below, it started moving to the upside using a certain pattern. So you can see this pattern. So after they went below, they hiked up, went below, and then moved up. So usually we call this the lower high, and then this is the higher high. So we have got higher highs and lower highs. So as the market is moving to the upside, so you can see that the market touched the trend line above it several times, around 3 times, and then it moved down to, so you have, at this position you have got this high, and then it moved down, moved up a little, and then moved down, moved up to touch the trend line above it, and then it moved down again, then it moved down to the upside, and down to the downside, and then after touching the trend line below, then moved up. So currently, as you can see, that the markets, after touching this point of resistance, they moved down. But generally, at the back of your mind, you should be knowing that from the weekly time frame, the charts are moving up. But moving to daily time frame, the markets tend to move to the downside. So as you're placing in your trade, you should be very keen in knowing where generally the markets are moving so that you may not miss out on great opportunities. Remember, when you're placing your trade on small position, make sure you place them with stop losses and take profit so that you can avoid getting huge losses at the end of the day. So currently that is the position that you are having. As you can see that the markets have been moving down, so this is like a point of support, and you can see that the market tested the point of support at this position. You can see that it tested the point of support at this position, and then decided to move to the upside. So if I can view it again on a lower time frame, so currently I'm expecting the market to still move to the upside. So if I can analyze it, so I'm seeing nice positions here for the market to move to the upside with a certain pattern. That is, remember that the market will only show patterns. So that is the market that the charts are creating as they are moving to the upside. Mhm. So still, I'm expecting the market to still move to the upside. Uh, I'm just waiting for some confirmations from the lower time frame. So if I can move to the hourly time frame so that you can see the kind of confirmation that I'm talking about. So remember, and also the other thing that I wanted to say is that you should be careful while placing your take profit so that you cannot miss out. Sometimes you may analyze a pair and the charts of the pair tends to move according to your prediction, but then since you don't have a take profit, they may later on tend to move against your prediction and you miss out on taking your profits. So currently you can see that you have got some red candlesticks. Remember, this is the position that I have placed my take profit at this position, and you can imagine that it just touched my take profit and then decided to move to the downside. So I'm waiting for this candlestick to close. So if it closes with a red candlestick, then I'm going to get into the trade with a sell, capitalizing on it up to this position. So I'm hoping that the market are going to move to the downside so that I can capitalize on it up to that position. And remember, as you are placing your stop losses, please don't place your stop loss at a shallow position. So I'm hoping that the market are going to move according to how I've analyzed them. So that is where I'm going to place my stop loss and let us hope for the best. So the other thing that I wanted us to analyze or an index is NAS 100 or NASDAQ. So NASDAQ decided to move against the prediction that we made yesterday. So this is the general view of NAS 100. So we had a kind of consolidation at this point where I was still expecting a breakout, only that I did not notice the breakout at the right time. So you can remember this trade that we took our profit here. The market decided to move to the downside, went for a test here, and it gave me a false confirmation. You can see these three red candlesticks. So this three red candlesticks made me to go for a small sale. So I had to take a loss for that. So I took my sell position at that point, had placed my stop loss slightly above this point at around that position. But as you can see, I was taken out of the market at that position. But remember, you should stick to your strategy. Sometimes out of 10, your strategy will always work out 8 times out of 10 times. So don't doubt your strategy. The moment you have got a specific strategy, just stick on the strategy. In short, just make sure that you have got more profit than the losses that you make in the market. That is how you benefit from the market at the end of the day. So as you can see, the market broke to the upside using these three green candlesticks, moved back, and then they went to the upside again. So I'm currently just viewing to see how the market are going to play out. But let me move to a daily time frame. Remember, early last month we had a touch to the upside at this position, at position A, on the trend line above it. So generally, I was expecting the market to move to the downside. So I was expecting the market to move from this position to that position, and then for it to move to back to a higher position. So, but then when the market reached this point, it made this point to become a point of support. Went for a retest. So I tend to hope that the market are going for a retest on the point of resistance A, so that they can move to the downside. So if I can zoom in. So the kind of pattern that I tend to feel that the markets are trying to create, so I tend to think that the markets are trying to create that kind of pattern for them to move up for a retest at this position, and then they are going to move down, and then again they are going to test this point of support for them to move down again. So but currently I'm just going to see how the markets are going to play out. Remember, after taking a loss, sometimes you have to take some time out. So make sure that whenever you take a loss, take some time out of the specific currency or index or stock that you are trading, for you to avoid trading with emotions. So I'm just currently going to view to see how the markets are going to play out. You can see that I'm expecting the market to be moving down, but still you can see they are around 5 or 6 green candlesticks that are moving to the upside. They have broken this point of resistance, moving to the upside still. But let us just hope for the best. Let us see how the markets are going to move. So that is all that I've got lined up for you for today. So have a nice day. Thank you.